protagonist.
Okay,
You're the
so
protagonist, huh?
in our armor unit, Sarge, I don't know if you remember him, Maple Jake, he used to stream and record for YouTube. Then the
Uh-huh.
first one that he did with our armor unit, I saved the entire team and then put it. We all got into the helicopter, and right as we were lifting off to go back to the home base, a 50 cal round went right through the middle of the helicopter and hit me in the head.
Ooh.
And then they knocked out the tail rotor. Helicopter ended up crashing into the water. Everybody was able to get out except for me because I was still unconscious, and nobody would try to revive to give me medical attention while sitting in the back of the helicopter. So I ended up drowning, and he made me internet famous because it was like that for like 3 missions in a row, to where I'd be like the superhero all the way to the end of the mission and die.
You know, I was actually, forgive me, but I was actually really nervous there that that was actually what really happened to you when you were in the service.
Well, no, no, no.
I was like, damn, dude, you've been through some shit.
I I did take shrapnel to my left hand,
Ooh.
so
Ow. That sucks.
Yep, so let's see. We have Dracorvius, Arata, Alphonse, Vlad, and Tanya. Ready to die. I mean, go explore the island. I mean, get killed. I mean, go explore the island.
I want to go back
get
to my
rich or die
homeland.
trying.
Say
I need to
what?
dismantle. I need to go back to my homeland to dismantle those despicable houses of Oda and Kurokabe.
So, just out of curiosity, Mr. Dracorvis, did you have a backstory?
I don't have it finished, sadly.
Then you are lazy fuck and you will die. No, I'm just kidding. Just get it to me when you can.
Okay, will do.
Or you will die. No. Nonetheless, though, Dracorvius, based upon what you told me about what you wanted, uh, would you mind if I went ahead and put you on the next vessel to the island anyway?
That's fine.
Okay. You okay there, man? You sounded like you almost coughed there.
I wouldn't say cough.
No, it was probably the way I was lying.
Alrighty. Actually, the first person, let's go ahead and get Mr. Dracorvius here introduced. The person who would
Hello,
actually, oh hey,
I am here.
the person who would actually run into Dracorvius first would be Arata and Tanya,
Yay!
since
Awesome.
Arata and Tanya were the last two to enter the inn. Dracorvius, you have finally arrived in the port city of Lao, where you're basically trying to find passage to the continent, and business is your own. However, you have received a little tip from a source of yours that there are a specific little group of characters that would probably be good to go with, and they are looking for, additional aid for helping their supposed business. And definitely wise to seek them out. And you've been given several names.
I Okay, I will end up looking into the names.
Indeed. The two names that pop up, at least from on your note, is one's name is Arata, the other's name is Alphonse. And they've given short descriptions on each person, and you've actually seen very detailed drawings of them from your compatriot. As you're sitting looking up at the very tall inn known as the Red Dragon, contemplating on whether or not how you're going to find these people, as if by typical luck, you look up and you can see at least one of them strolling towards you. This appears to be the one known as Arata. He is dressed in full kind of oriental samurai looking armor with a couple nasty looking swords.
I will approach him.
Arata, if you look to the portrait just right over to your left, a man fitting that description is slowly approaching you. Appears he has some inquiry.
Ah,
Is he approaching both Tanya and
Well, he's approaching Arata, but Tanya, you're right there with him.
I'm looking pretty stylish too.
question is, what does he look like? Of
Picture on the far left.
Sleek back hair. He's got an owl pelt around him or something feathery. A staff.
oh yeah, and Tanya still has her bastard sword with her that she wasn't able to sell.
No, I think
Oh,
Zeta. I think Zeta
so-
just likes saying "bastard sword" because he said that like 50 times that we know he's got one.
Mm-hmm.
While she's trying to sell it, it makes the most logical sense.
I'm not going to buy your fucking sword.
But
So
some random
Probius-
person's walking up towards us.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'll open up. Say hello. May I help you?
Are you doing it in style, and that's what the style roll is for?
Yes, I do everything with style. I'm just
His,
that fucking
his
good.
character's very stylish with everything.
It's a classic anime scene. He points at Dracovius' character, and all of a sudden, anime speed lines come behind him, and he says, "Hello."
Tanya pulls out the sword and slashes at that because it's annoying.
The Chinese letters crit. You miss. So,
Your move.
One of these days, I will kill those letters.
Dracovius, while the other two are squabbling over spiritual things that you cannot see, Arata has has noticed you and asked you what was going on.
First off, what do I recall of my, or
Uh-oh.
We seem to be having some technical difficulties.
I take it I didn't fully come through, did I?
Nope.
Oh, you did.
All I got was, what do I know of? And that was it.
Okay, what I asked was, what was the reason I was looking for them other than that they were for me to go along with them?
Well, you wanted to secure passage to the island, and they would definitely be, not only could they secure you passage to the island, but also possible future work for you. Your associate said to give them her name, and that they would probably be more trusting of you and at least would, allow you to possibly get a job, shall we say.
Okay, so in reply to Arata, Dracovius will say, good day. I am Dracovius. I am looking for passage to the island, and
Yeah.
my associate, my associate Sylvia told me to find you.
Wait, as soon as you said, like, I'm looking for passage, it's like, yeah, you could ask one of the. And then you say Sylvia, it's like, okay. Tanya doesn't pull out the sword.
I perk up and clap my hands. Lovely Sylvia. Yes, yes. I'm gonna do a key detection and like a little see supernatural.
Mm-hmm. You don't see any key. Well, you see a little bit key.
Okay. But the see supernatural, nothing.
You see a black aura shadow behind him.
I will
Yes.
just look at him with my just natural sight of being able to possibly see supernatural. I doubt I'm gonna get anything.
You don't see anything different than Arata. You see kind of a black outline of an aura behind him, but that's about it.
Ah,
With your friend thing behind you.
Dracovius, they both seem to be looking you up and down, clearly doing some sort of detection on you, but no hostility.
I
Tony's
asked
asked,
them, "Is everything okay?"
yes, yes. It's just sizing you up because we're not very exclusive, but we all have our, how we say, talent, and you seem to have the talents as well that we'd be looking for. So,
the question is, you say talent, I say it's kind of suspicious.
I'm gonna just sigh deeply and just, you say suspicious, but when I look at you, you're the most suspicious of all.
What? I'm taller than you?
Yes, you're a big girl, and things that people
I thank you.
can't see are very clear to me. So, since I'm not the one who makes the calls, I'm going to point you to the boss, or at least one of them, by the name of Alphonse, that you can introduce yourself to him and ask him to be an associate as well, because he is the one funding most, if not all, of this venture.
Yep.
So I'll just
I'm just
bring
a hired
Jacobius with
muscle.
me, and I'll go to the front desk. I'll introduce myself as Arata, associate of Alphonse, Russo, whatever the fuck his last name was. He got here before me, and this is a potential business partner for him. We'd like to know where he is so we can do an interview.
Oh, Alphonse is in the suite. I imagine he's up there right now.
Excellent. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's good.
I'll be
to
back
know.
soon myself to get a room.
Of
Thank you, young
course.
lady. And so then I will lead
Probably has
Dracovius
come
up
along
there.
as well.
Dracorvius, do you proceed with them?
I do.
Excellent. You all proceed up the long, twisting spiral staircase into a vast hallway of rooms. All of these rooms look identical and look very, very, very nice, all with traditional Japanese sliding doors. You eventually come down to the end room where she said he was, and you are now staring and looking at a nice, very intricate sliding door.
Tanya goes to knock and it's like, wait, am I supposed to knock on these type of doors or is it would just destroy it?
That's actually a very good question.
Because Tanya would not know of this. It's like,
I think you just announce yourself because it is paper thin. It's pretty fucking easy to hear.
okay, so she just slide the door very quickly to the other side and
no,
waltz right in.
no announcing, no nothing.
No announcing. She's a bodyguard. Why the hell would you? This is a horrible door.
Oh well. Alphonse, I don't know what you were doing in your room. Hopefully it wasn't anything private.
Mostly probably dealing with trade documents. So no.
Good.
So you got your 6'4" woman at your door, just like Alphonse. You got somebody here just to visit you.
Alphonse dies of a stroke from the stupidity.
Oh dear God, I can't help him.
Was I just addressed by my first name by the help?
Ow!
Ouch! Ouch!
Wait.
Ow.
Does the question is, did you actually say that in character or out of character?
Probably a little in character.
Well, this
Damn.
help.
That bird went straight through
Basically,
the dermis, epidermis, and down to the
this
fucking bone.
I'm,
well,
sa-
that help of yours is the one that keeps you alive.
That's up for debate.
I'm sorry. Did I say Alphonse? I meant fun bags.
Either way,
Now, I'll look to
she
Dracovius like,
points at the.
I'll just say, usher him in. I'll step in behind him, introduce Dracovius as a man of talent and may be interested in joining us on our venture.
And what talent, pray tell, does he have?
And I'm gonna ask Tanya to close the door.
She closes the door and stands behind it.
Well, no martial ability that I can see, but there's definitely a sign of power. I'm gonna just like point to my eyes. Things that I can see.
Power is interesting, but not always useful. We're embarking on a dangerous expedition, as disclosed by the fact that we have no returning parties as of yet. I need to know that this person can not only survive, but can contribute.
And I'm going to look at Dracovius and say, it's all yours. Knock him down.
Dracovius will ask, then how shall I prove that I can be of use?
Show them how useful you are. Other than that weird shadowy thingy behind you.
I wonder if a display of skill would actually help in this situation. No,
Give me a moment.
that's
Out of character. That would probably work.
just out of curiosity. I probably will know the answer to this question, but Mr. Dracorvius, have you looked up and read up on your spells?
Yeah, I have. I'm just trying to think of which one would be best to. Actually, I think I know which one would be best
Just don't bring down the inn,
to
please.
try.
Just don't destroy the inn if we can.
Dracovius will use his create darkness spell.
You want to go ahead and
Which-
use standard area?
Yeah. So pretty much in a 15-foot radius, I'm creating something that can, which it's, well, it says complete darkness area within a, completely darkens an area within a 15-foot radius.
Actually, one small question for the GM.
Mm-hmm.
How big's the room?
Oh, it's a big, large room. It's like 30 by 30.
Okay, because that was the big question of if it's 15 foot.
Although,
And
although,
it's like,
although the thing is that it is dark outside. And
yeah,
when he,
but we're in a room that's even going to be even more darker.
yep, when he casts darkness, a lot of the lights in the room that are near within 15 feet of him immediately dim to almost nothingness. And due to Dracovius's outfit, ironically, he becomes very quite difficult to see, and you can see the shadows all around you start to move and manipulate and actually twist and bend. And anyone who's within 15 feet of Dracovius, including Dracovius himself, is now quite difficult to see.
And
Indeed.
that just makes it even worse because Tanya has a bodyguard. Oh shit. Something bad's about to happen. Weapon drawn.
Nothing bad happens.
No, this the whole darkness and then I can't see anything.
Mm-hmm. And forgive
I'm
me,
going to be
P-
prepared for anything bad happens.
yep, P.S. Pause on the game for just a moment, just to point out to you guys. My left eardrum is completely clogged and it's throwing off my equilibrium and just making me feel like shit. So if I go quiet for a bit, that's just me, dealing with it. But carry on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I'm quite sure that has its practical applications. Unfortunately, it seems like it could actually be a hindrance to my party.
Alright, who's using my sheet?
No one.
Odd. Alright.
No, I'm just looking at mine. I'm looking at Dracovius's.
If I had enough Xeon accumulation and stuff, I could. Well, actually, after a few seconds, I probably, of course, after accumulating, will probably then use my Xeon to show the others the other useful tricks, see in darkness. Probably on um Alphonse.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alphonse, make an MR check. Okay. Alphonse, you can now see in through the darkness as if it was day.
But nobody else can.
Nope.
So you would see Tanya with a weapon drawn.
Dracovius just bowed.
So I'm going to judge the practical application of this ability. Tanya, sheathe your weapon. There's no threat here.
You say that, yet I can't see.
And I can, and I assure you there is no threat.
Fine. She sheathes the bastard sword.
You really should stop calling it a bastard. It's going to take offense to that.
Why? Okay, fine. I'll call it black bastard. That better?
Well, if
Now
it's-
he can't. Now he can't post that to YouTube.
okay. If the sword was big enough, he could call it fat bastard. But anyway, back to Alphonse, which I so rudely interrupted.
Mr. Dracovius, I would like you to give this sight to my shorter bodyguard.
That's me.
And just letting you know, Mr. Dracorvius, as a house rule, when you have accumulation high enough and you've got spells for free cast or innate casting, in all honesty, I just say snap your fingers if your target is willing, I won't even have you roll for it. So you can just declare that you're casting it.
Okay, then yeah, I'll cast Seize Darkness on him as well.
Arata, you can now see in pitch blackness as if it was day.
Wow. Damn it, Tanya! Put the sword away!
The sword is away.
That's
Back
not
to
what I
the
see.
boss guys.
Sakamoto-san, do us all a favor and strike the impudent bodyguard, reminding her that I have a title and a family name.
Yes, sir.
And that I sign her paychecks.
I'm going to relay all of this to Tanya. Dunce.
So Tanya, you are relayed this information that you should probably show Alphonse a little bit more respect since he is paying your paychecks, and then Arata pokes you with his sword. Not that sword, his actual sword.
Arata. Good question. What's the presence of your sword?
Not as much as yours.
Yeah, but the question is, what's its presence? Because you
40.
forget, you're poking an essence eater. That also means anything that comes in physical contact, I can take the energy, absorb the chi from it.
Yes, but if you're going to be a little shit about it, Zena, you don't see it coming. You can't prepare for it.
And to be fair, I would also argue that if you're going to be that much of a shit
True, I'm
about
not.
it, the very floor you're
I
standing
don't
on.
know of it.
Well, to be fair, if you're going to be that much of a little shit about it, the very floor you're standing on, you could do that too. But no, it's a non-threatening attack, and you can't see it, so it's unprepared. But if you wish, Tanya,
Yeah, that's the only part.
if you wish, Tanya, go ahead and roll me a block at -80.
A block at -80?
Yes.
For blindness.
Alrighty.
Yes, you are poked, and you do not have time to react or essence eat it. Actually, you would have time to react or essence eat it, but you can't see it, and because it was a poke and he immediately retracted, god damn, that sounds dirty, you weren't able to essence drain it.
God, it's like I'm reading Fate all over again.
My
It's a
friend's
wonderful visual novel.
my friend's listening in on this game, and he just said, he's like, so what's happening? I'm like, the samurai's poking the one female character with his sword, and he's like, who? I'm like, no, not that.
Uh,
Hi, listener.
hello, listener.
She's too busy laughing in the other room at the moment.
With that, I believe your talents may prove useful to us. I will permit you to join us on the stipulation that you do obey my commands and understand that I do sign all payment here. This is, after all, my expedition, and I will permit no foul-ups.
Dracovius will not. Agreed. Because I probably cut out. Dracovius will nod and then say, agreed. And understood.
Then welcome to the team, Mr. Dracovius. I'd ask that you now release my crew from their blindness.
I will do so then.
As he cancels the spell, the light returns to the little lamps that were in the corners of the room, and the shadows vanish and stop bending into such odd shapes, and everything was as it is.
Yay!
Mm-hmm. Oh, and bot. I remember what was the armor that I was talking about.
What was the name?
Fur.
Okay, simple enough.
So it would
Yeah,
be plus 10 for one.
I will say the next morning when you guys sleep, you may go buy one at the merchant, and you will easily have it if you want to buy it. Because
Yay! Does that mean I can? I'm sorry, but
because as of right now, Tanya, Vlad, Alphonse, Arata, and even Dracorvius money all put together is enough to pretty much get you guys whatever you want before you want to go to the continent.
And hell, if I can get the chance to, I'll sell some more weapons too.
I would like to hire a couple of Venetian prostitutes.
Okay, I can't stop you. I would also like to point out, Alphonse, that your companion, Vladimir, is sleeping in the next room over with his pistol, hugging it like a teddy bear.
And
I
has
can carry
severe
that's what
PTSD.
those do.
That's fine and dandy. I assume the Russian knows what sex sounds like.
like I love this group.
Yep.
So I'm going to do the morally
My
right.
night is taken care of. The rest of you do whatever the fuck you like.
Yes, it's fucking taken care of. It's taking care of you real good.
Happy endings.
Oh yes, happy ending with a gun.
So I want to go back out and, it's a festival. It's going to be tons of fucking vendors. I want to go out there. I want to get a fucking, designer Komodo. I'm
Designer
Oriental.
Komodo. All right. So you go out looking for Komodo. Arata has declared his actions, so I think what I'll do before I move to the next scene is I'll go down the list of people declaring their action. Mr. Jacovius, what do you wish to do before everyone kind of tucks it in for the night and your characters wake up the next morning to embark?
There's really nothing that I can think of that's really pressing.
Oh, I do have pressing business to attend to now that I remember.
Alphonse, are you going with the original declaration?
I'm sorry, I cut out there for a second. What's going on?
Are you going with the original declaration? I'm having everyone make their declarations before I switch to the next scene here.
Oh, yes.
Excellent. Mr.
All right.
Mr. Vladimir, do you wish to do anything?
Before they all go off to do their separate little activities, I would like to communicate mentally with Arata, Alphonse, and Tanya and tell them all to shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep.
Okay.
I'd also like
Oh,
to point out that I
Tanya
did
will
not
say
specify
back
male
in
or
your-
female prostitute.
Okay.
Tanya will say basically back to you, it's like dealing with a new guy.
Hey,
Obviously, it's gonna be hell.
hey, Alphonse, whether you prefer door number 1 or door number 2, they're all doors.
I have no preference between doors.
And Tanya, I assume, let me guess, you're going to go out and try and get your sword sold. Right? Am I right or am I wrong?
What kind
Oh
of
no. She's gonna probably just go around, book her room to actually put her legit gear, except for her one weapon that she always keeps on her,
Excellent. No problem.
and maybe go and sell 2 swords.
Okay, I'll have you roll for that in a bit here. But since we've all made our declarations, let us go to Arata, who is now left to go get a pressing matters.
Yes. So, pressing matters is slightly urgent because I need to know I need the house to know where I'm going. And so I'm going to give them a brief summary. I went to the north. I met up with Count Vladimir. Went back south, met up with Alphonse and Tanya. And now we're all going to explore this new continent. So any correspondences from henceforth should be delivered to there until further notice.
Giving a nice update.
Yep.
And
And
Arata, would you roll me a D100, please?
absolutely, once I get the page up. Wow.
Oh, don't worry. That just makes this more fun.
Okay.
I hope you are aware of your predicament, Hirata.
I'm always aware. It's very hard to catch me unaware. Probably talking to myself. I'm crazy.
No, you're not crazy. I'm down here.
Hmm. Dare I look down?
You look down at your sword.
Hmm? Can I get the Japanese characters first? Johnny.
Omae order Oshindiu. Nani? Uh, you're
His
looking.
sword's talking to him?
You're looking at the sword.
Hmm. Oh, this isn't normal.
By the way, it is pouring rain.
Oh boy. Why am I lonesome? Somehow?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So there's no crowd. I've somehow gotten lost.
You find yourself standing in an alleyway looking at a wall.
Hmm. Well, then I'm just not going to hold back. Identify yourself. Key detection. Supernatural.
You use key detection and you see key in your sword. You see supernatural in your sword. Nothing else.
Oh, this is new. And who might you be, my ever faithful companion?
No reply.
Hmm. Not much of a talker, eh?
I'm an inanimate object.
Oh, now you're just playing smart with me.
I like it already.
If only there was a role for snark.
Or there is a role for witticism.
Wait, we can create our own secondary abilities. Can I create the secondary ability?
When you level.
Yes. When I level, I will put points in fucking start. Equally as important as style.
Would it be intelligence or would it be more style or power?
I think intelligence.
Intelligence, definitely. Your sword does not seem to say anything more.
I'm gonna try tapping it.
Tap it. You tap the sword.
Alright, I'm gonna tap the hilt against the wall.
Tap built against the wall. Nothing happens.
But if I commit somehow, because I don't know how I'm gonna have the arm length for this, if I just stab it into myself, I've clearly gone insane.
You do know this is too hilarious that I had to mute myself from laughing.
Are you seriously going to commit seppuku in this alleyway?
No.
I was going to say, that was a very short-lived character.
You get on this day. Next day will be fine. But enjoy the view. Oh no. Instead of on the side, I'll just put the fucking sword on my back.
Irada, is that you?
Hmm.
You see
I,
a familiar, very slender woman figure standing in the alleyway looking down at you.
looking down at me.
Yes, because she's standing on a crate.
is going on? Thank you, Sylvia.
You're having a fun time.
Thank you, Sylvia. Please, let it be
Yes,
someone I know.
yes, it is Sylvia.
Oh, goodness. Sylvia, you're a special lady, and I can respect that. I think I'm going insane.
Well, aren't we all a little insane?
Yes, there's no normal definition of normal, but tonight especially so. I think my sword just talked to me, and now it won't talk back.
That sounds like a personal problem, Murata.
It it really does, because am I insane or is the sword insane? I don't know. Am I wrong or is it the world that's wrong? There's so many existential questions here that I just don't know the answer to.
Indeed. I wish I knew the answers to those existential questions. But how are you? Was your journey without further complications?
Indeed. It went very well. After you left, we did our practice and we made our way here in just a couple of days. And, we got set up. We have a new companion that you sent our way, Probius. Seems to be fine.
Ah, yes,
And,
Mr. Corvius. Yes, he's in desperate need of some work, and he is a very talented individual, and I definitely would recommend him.
can you tell me more of these talents, please? I need a distraction from what just happened.
Indeed. I actually have one more associate that may be joining you, but he's not here at the moment.
Ah, any, you provide me with a description of what he or she may look.
Well, unfortunately, it's possibly a selection of many, so I'll have to decide which one will do it. But yes, they're all he, and they're all friends of mine, so they will all be legit.
Ah, excellent. So this leaves one more question as to what is a very renowned, refined lady such as yourself doing in this alley?
Well, I was looking at a very strange and deranged samurai staring at a wall, talking to himself, but that little fact has been cleared now.
Yeah, one of us is strange and deranged, and it is probably me. If you ever visit, you have a cousin in Lynette, you ever meet another samurai, in war times, you will find that all of us are insane. It's common practice to go between insanity, like it's bread and butter.
Sanity, insanity, they're just words we've made up to describe things. And her eyes are glowing like a bright red as she's saying this.
That they are, those little rascals of words. Oh, is there anything I can do for you, little Sylvia?
Well, there's something I would love to do for you. I would love to take you out to this very amazing, amazing Feon restaurant I found on the edge of the waterfront. I feel I owe you a bit for you and your companions giving me that free ride.
Ah, well, I will certainly take you up on that offer, but other than that, you don't need to think much of it.
She nods. And as you are walking out towards the where she's guiding, you go back out on the street, and once again, almost as if the scene changes from night and day, immediately you guys are in a crowd of people walking through as the festival is progressing.
Ah, excellent.
And you notice that Sylvia is actually still holding the sword breaker on the back of her dress.
I will make a mental note of that for Todd.
The black bladed one to make it better.
As you proceed out, you notice that even though it's raining, clearly tarps have been put up and people are staying quite dry on the least on the main walkways. And you come out to the edge of the waterfront just near the sea, and there's this very gorgeous floating restaurant that's got a nice oriental bridge leading from a nice roof, and there's a nice, typical jungle garden. It looks all very anime. And as you walk over the bridge, you can see that there's actually no one in the restaurant right now, but it's pretty fancy because it's basically walk-in, and it's a typical kneel down, very authentic, very professional Japanese cuisine.
Oh fuck yeah! I'm not going to say that in character. That's poor form of etiquette for the very privileged.
And she pays for your meal.
What a sweetheart. And then, just out of character, I'm gonna pass on a little story of another famous person from Lynette who took the country by storm, fought the Inquisition on a couple occasions, and the strangest rumor of all was he can transform into some magical beast. He went from, they say he was 12 foot tall, to then he would go up to 30, big as a 2-story building.
Well, that's just impressive.
It was,
She pauses for a moment. She sets down her bowl when she's done. She looks at you, and she says, I've been thinking a bit after our last encounter, me and your friends, Alphonse and all them. And I was wondering, my goal is definitely to set up a herbology, if you will. I want to get a nice herbology shop going on the new continent. And I would be more than happy to strike business with you and your friend Alphonse for some decent supplies. I wouldn't mind coming with you occasionally on some expeditions if you plan on going deeper into the island.
well, this sounds. Well, I'm first very honored you thought to talk to me before Alphonse. Alphonse seems a bit on the business only side.
Well, currently
Yeah.
Alphonse is with 2 prostitutes, so I don't want to
Yes,
bug
there's
him.
also that. How dare he? Debauchery and sin. It's indecent.
I don't mean to precisely spy, but due to my condition of what I am, my hearing is massively improved. And when I was in my room, which is on the first floor of the Red Dragon, I, heard.
Oh, poor soul.
It's nothing. I've heard far worse. If you think that's bad, you should see what's happening in the hotel next door. I think an opium den just got raided.
Ah, well, justice being done, nothing we need to worry about. Keeping the streets clean.
Yes, of course. Well, with that, I think we should all retire to our domains and proceed to the continent in the morning. I look forward to seeing you there.
Absolutely. And we can brief Alphonse together on this possible business venture.
And with that, she pulls out the sword breaker, cuts a hole in the air, steps through it and disappears, and the hole seals up.
Reminds me of home.
Dimensional door for the win.
I am so happy my sword was useful for that one badass scene.
And I'm going to order some sake and just reminisce fondly of all the supernatural shit that goes on and nobody cares. And monologuing that Gaia is filled with nothing but savages that can only see the bad in the supernatural.
I have to admit, Arata-san,
Supernatural is more like, oh shit, demons and whatnot.
you've had 2 women hit on you in the same day. That is impressive.
And, damn, I'm good.
Roll style.
All right.
It's actually pretty good considering he's failed on both of those.
You go to take a sip of sake, and you're so excited at the voice talking to you again that you crush the sake cup.
Don't do that. Scared. I just spilled sake. The waste.
The sword says nothing.
You have dishonored the alcohol of sake.
And I apparently don't even know my own strength. Waiter! And
Yes, sir.
please, a rag so that I may clean this up.
Of
I
course,
will
sir.
cash out.
He nods. The lady has taken care of the tip for you, sir. You may leave at any time.
Excellent. I'll toss him a $5 anyways.
And does anyone else have any last-minute declarations before we all go to bed?
Tanya, remember?
Yes, that's right. So, Zeta, the floor is yours.
So yes, Tanya's basically got her claymore wrapped up with her on her back, and she's going to sell 2 of her broadswords.
Would you roll me any social roles involving like appraisal, commerce, communication, stuff like that? 3 social roles that would be applicable for selling and whatnot.
Sure, I could totally roll some socials.
If you don't want to do a social, you could try like a composure or a if you really wanted to, you could do a flat D100 just to see if you can wing it, but I'll let you do some social rolls mostly.
You know what? I have a better chance with composure over me trying to roll. Actually, what? No, screw it. Let's just do it. I'll wing it with the social.
Attaboy, Zeta.
Do 3 rolls.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Might as well open roll that baby, because yeah, that's the closest I will ever get into anything
Yeah.
more.
Fucking roll that again.
Nice.
Right.
And one more time. And then what's your third social going to be?
You know what? Just because it is one that has been going on as a killing joke style.
Okay. So, it's very difficult for you when you go out in the market and you've kind of set up a little makeshift shop. It's very difficult for you to persuade people, and you're having trouble being somewhat stylish since you're a foreigner in these parts. However, you present yourself very well. Your etiquette is actually surprisingly good, and your craftsmanship is good as well. And due to the fact that you've at least set up a makeshift and it is a festival, people kind of get the idea that you are definitely trying to sell. And because of your etiquette, when you actually manage to strike up a conversation with people, even though your persuasion is not very good, you perform yourself elegantly enough that they start to look at your weapons. And when a few buyers start to look at your weapons, they actually see how good the craftsmanship is. You are able to at least sell one of your swords. Which sword do you want to sell?
I will sell my one broadsword. At least I had 2 of them on, like few on me, but yeah, I sell the broadsword.
He will buy it full price. Go ahead and subtract the broadsword from your inventory and add the gold.
Awesome.
due to the fact that your weapons are more of a Western Southern tradition and most of the Oriental weapons here are Eastern, the fact that you did have a kind of newer, unique weapon around here, was definitely something that a collector would want.
I'll at least tell him I have other weapons too. You just have to look for.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Mostly that
Just-
seems to be all you can sell. That was the primary your primary one of your primary broadswords was what most people were looking at as they were walking by anyway.
Yeah. After that, just pack it up and then just go back to the inn to buy a. No, to rent not a great extravagant room, more of the Dragon's Inn lower room with an actual frickin' door.
All right.
You're in
Not no.
Japan, boy. That ain't gonna happen.
Well, if he gets one of the cheap ones, he might get one. Tanya,
Um, yes.
you are bumped by a very large woman in leather armor with red hair.
Interesting.
She bumps
What
into
is?
you and says, "Hey, watch it, broad." And then she keeps walking.
What? Wait. What? You're the one who ran into me, bitch.
Excuse me?
You heard me. Is
She-
she actually coming up into my face like we're face to face?
Yeah, you're face to face. She is your height and probably twice your build. She's a very big woman. Brienne of Tarth wishes she was this big.
Yeah.
Would you roll me a composure check because she is now intimidating you? You almost notice that her hair itself is almost looks like it's on fire, although you can't quite tell.
Fuck. Out of character. I think I know which one this is. I just ran into from the Ode campaign.
I'm not saying a word.
Shit.
Um, take one mental damage, or one mental fatigue. Sorry.
Okay.
You're a little bit put off by this woman. She's your size. She looks stronger, although you do appear to be faster. But when you square off with her, you get a feeling of unease. And she says, "I don't have time for this," and walks off.
I'm more gonna watch her walk off first before I go walk away with the whoa, what the fuck?
You see that as she turns around, she has a massive battle axe on her shoulder. It is double-bladed.
She might actually give me an actual good fight.
You should find out by saying, I make better shit than that axe.
Actually, how good does that axe look? By quick glance.
The axe looks crude, but for a well-veteraned weaponsmith as yourself, the axe is not flashy, but it looks very high quality. It looks old, it looks like it's been beat up. However, the blade and the metal is still flawless. Although stained and very darkened over obviously many years of use, the weapon is very high quality, just not very flashy.
Damn. I could actually make a better one than that, possibly.
she would probably say that out loud, forgetting that, oh shit, she hasn't left as a full yet.
Well, the woman does not appear to hear you as she keeps on walking.
Yeah, so she'll go back to her room. Or go back to the inn to get a cheap room.
You get a cheap room on the bottom. The lady hands you the key, and yes, it's got an ordinary door. It's still very oriental themed and has sliding doors in it, but the front door is a door.
Thank you, because that's just weird.
But what he isn't mentioning is that your room is right below Alphonse's. You're not sleeping anytime soon.
Oh, no, no, she will eventually. It's just more of the Alphonse will be sleeping very gently.
Well, hey, he's got to tire sometime.
Exactly.
For shits and giggles, as one last thing we do before all the characters go to bed and we go to the next morning, Alphonse, would you roll me a performance check or a style?
What kind of performance are you looking for?
Sexual.
I wasn't aware that that was a skill.
It's a custom subtype, but if you don't have it, then I would just say flat performance.
How about art?
Yeah, I guess in all honesty, you could call anything art. So yeah, I would accept that. I guess you could also determine that by what activities he's particularly engaging in, but we won't go into details.
Damn.
I was just about to say it could also be a dance.
Yeah. Could also be a dance.
Is that real?
Oh, is putting in mod. I think he's doing what I did because what I figured out is you put in your fatigue first, and then it's going to give you another prompt for like a multiple modifier, and that's where the multiplication comes in.
Okay, there we go. So all I will say is before the night is over, Alphonse, you are schooled. Your magic touch is not so magic tonight.
I don't need magic. That's why I got prostitutes.
All right. So everyone goes to bed. Everyone sleeps well. Everyone recovers full health and full fatigue and full mental awareness. The dawn approaches. And ironically enough, even though it is still sunny outside, it's still raining.
Are you just saying that because you don't want to change the track?
No, actually, because it's the solstice and the weather does crazy shit sometimes.
Okay. All right. I'll put on a fancy kimono. I'll go get Sylvia, and then today. I will take the role of disrespectful help and yell at Alphonse that he's got business.
All right. Well, just letting you know, Alphonse does have the ship all ready to go. All the hands were pretty much expecting him to come. So you guys may proceed on the ship whenever you feel.
Oh, I thought we were gonna have like a little mini meeting about the herbal.
Well, I imagine you would. I'm just letting you guys know that the ship is there.
Okay.
Vlad's gonna come out of the
How
room when
bad are
Narada
we?
arrives. Vlad's gonna come out of his room when Arata arrives, donned with a very fancy and expensive looking black trench coat that's laced with gold like he's a count or a very high class lower tier noble.
Excellent. I'll be wearing my fancy kimono, duly purchased, and give the bow.
And I'll have
Yep.
all my weaponry on me too. Pistol, rapier, and rifle.
Yep. And sticking with it from last night, I'll have the sword on my back.
Tanya's gonna come up with a new gear of the fur coat. Fur armor. Along with her claymore wrapped in its lovely case on her back.
You really want to sell that case, don't you?
Fuck no, that case is not gonna go anywhere. The case is the reason why you can't sense its aura.
I'm sorry, Zeta, but I regret to inform you that you have pulled it out on session 0. Therefore, I know it's glowing.
Well, yes, you'd know that it glows, but yeah, only you do.
That is a picture of Sylvia.
Other than that, yes.
Yay! He's ready to go and kill someone.
Oh, who's that picture of?
Sylvia.
Yay!
Speaking of pictures, would it be possible to clear the board of the other ones that aren't present? Thank you.
So Vlad's gonna be looking at Arata and confused, the confused look on his face on why he's standing there with Sylvia.
Sylvia, you're here.
And just relay to him that there's a possible business venture regarding myself and Alphonse. They glanced over the details last night, and just got to talk to the big man himself and see if he's interested. So then, is Alphonse awake, or is he in a fucking sex coma?
Depends on how well the prostitutes did, really.
Well, they apparently handed your ass to you, so begin the knocking.
Vlad's gonna establish a mental communication with Alphonse and tell him to wake the fuck up.
Damn.
Well, since Tanya was told as you are the hired help, fuck you, you can wake yourself up. She ain't gonna wake you this time.
Wow, you take things really personally, don't you?
Yeah, she does.
Well, Alphonse will wake the fuck up, but he's not coming out until he's completely dressed and shining to the nines. If I were to give a word, to put a word.
Well, then, if that's the fucking case, he's probably gonna take forever, and let's just go downstairs and get some chow.
When do nobles ever not take forever?
Well, apparently Sylvia, because she's noble and already awake and dressed.
And dressed as if she's actually ready to do adventuring, because that picture is fairly accurate to what she looks like right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, A.
Oh, then he'll go down and
dress himself pretty well. That's the difference.
Not only that, she also has the sword breaker, and she has a very nice looking saber at her side.
excellent.
Nice.
So at this time, Vlad's gonna mentally communicate to Sylvia, offering a greeting of the morning, tap tap his forehead with 2 fingers and walk down to the breakfast area and take his breakfast to go to walk over to the ship.
Yes, Vlad, thank you. Good to see you again.
I'm going to suggest that we go downstairs and just wait till His Highness decides to make his presence known.
It is, the breakfast is currently fried rice with fish and egg foo young.
Ah, delicious.
How the hell am I supposed to eat this? As she tries to eat, sees that she's got chopsticks.
I'm clearly very elated. And the stylish one.
The Japanese letters appear and it says, satisfied. You all have a wonderful breakfast, those of you choosing to eat.
Yeah, Tanya will eat. She'll eat with her hands because there's unless they
They're,
give
oh,
her
for, oh, for
fork.
crying out loud, there's silverware.
God.
In high quality Japanese restaurants, it's never just chopsticks. There's silverware there.
Okay, then yes, she will use the silverware.
I'm looking at your character sheet.
So, Alphonse, you have a little bit of style, but that was quite some wild night. You managed to make yourself look perfect, except you have a little bit of a bedhead.
Works for me, really.
You have sleight of hand. You couldn't just roll sleight of hand.
Oh, you were talking about Tanya?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you meant Alphonse for the role last night, but
Oh, but he's got. Oh, wait, that's not.
She
So,
swipes whatever person's food and starts eating that.
okay, so Tanya apparently is a badass ninja when it comes to eating food with a fork, because apparently she's just a master at that. You guys all see her eat food almost not only at such a professional level with the fork, but she's eating so fast you guys can barely see her eat at all.
And she
You
starts
really
eating a
are a
little bit at home
barbarian.
just to fuck with you guys.
Not to mention when she's done, she burps and she flicks the fork up in the air. It spins, it spins, it spins. It lands on the table, face up into the table.
Don't go near that fork.
What, you're afraid of a little fork?
No, we just don't know where you've been, you barbarian.
Well, if been at the shops, or it's called a forge. Those are the only 2 places you could find me other than in the room or bodyguarding Mr. I will take long noble as she points upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't help but notice you trying to scarf your food away with your fucking hands.
Compared to using chopsticks, I don't understand it. So yeah.
And this is
What,
why
you
we
want to
can't
say you
afford
want to have
to
an
throw
arm
it
wrestle
to
right
you.
now?
Oh, I always find quite an entertainment in this group, as Sylvia chuckles up. Ah, oh, Dracorvius. I take it your trip here was without event.
He will nod and say it was.
Indeed, I was very worried. I myself ran into a little bit of trouble along the road, but I'm glad to see that you suffered no trouble.
Oh, was this after us or before us? Or
This was after we had a few ruffians along the side of the northern route try to uh, commit dangerous acts, and they learned their lesson.
oh, I hope your friend who was with the Hellberg wasn't too badly hurt.
Oh no, he's fine.
And I hope that sword of mine actually was very helpful for you too.
It's nice. It's very light, and I can use it in Corn Jackson with my other weapon. I like it.
very welcome. I have other ones that could possibly be looked at.
With that, if no other declarations are declared, you guys can get ready to start heading out.
All right.
I'd like to declare that I'm going to be sitting at the boat waiting for them while crafting some more rounds for my pistol and my rifle.
Okay, just give me one craft roll this time. Are you crafting
Tanya,
specific? I'll let you craft for one or the other. Are you crafting specifically for the rifle or for the pistol?
I'll go with pistol since I have only 5 rounds for it.
Well, that was a pretty good roll, so you get another 5 rounds.
And I'll be standing or sitting on the ship waiting for everybody.
As you're sitting on the ship waiting for your companions, you look out and you see the other ship that is currently departing for the mainland as well. And it is a nice looking 3-masted passenger vessel kind of sailing out. And you notice that there's really not that many people on there. Strangely enough, for a free ride to a new continent with new possibilities, there's really not that many people going out. With the exception of what Alphonse set up with the building and whatnot, besides the other merchants, there's almost no one going besides you guys.
I'll take that into account while I wait for everybody else.
oh yeah, Sylvia.
Yes.
Would you, other than this lovely gentleman, as she points to the newcomer, I'm guessing there are other people who possibly might be coming?
Indeed. I have a ally that actually he may prove quite useful to you and will definitely be a good adept to your group, although he is not here at the moment.
Do you have one that might be a woman, redhead, big as me?
Oh, I wouldn't worry about her.
Wait, her? You know her?
I've seen her around.
Interesting. Alright.
All right, so everyone appears to be on the boat. Does anyone wish to make any other declarations before I finally send you guys to the continent?
I'll
Not unless
open
the
up a mental
Mr.
communication
Noble
with.
is still taking a sweet long time changing, then you got Tony will just go up and then like, hey, we're leaving now.
Okay. Vlad?
Once everybody's on the ship, I'll open a mental communication with Tanya, Alphonse, and Arata while glaring out of the corner of my eye at Dracovius, asking them who the fuck is this guy.
Ah, I'll respond quickly. This is our new friend. I say friend, and he will be an
Acquaintance.
associate that will be joining us on this expedition.
What makes him so special, Arata?
He's got a touch of power.
He
He
made
has
that,
the power to steal sight and give it.
which I'm very skeptical
Interesting.
of a lot.
It's almost on par with your ability to see in the dark, for example.
Interesting.
So you all set sail. And you actually have a rather nice little cruise out past the Mur Orientale. And oddly enough, the voyage is short. Only after 8 hours, you're there. You can see the continent in the distance. And it's pretty vast. Although the main rocky shores are very high and very tall cliff tops, there's a very wide beach by the area that you're approaching. Along this beach, you can see about 3 or 4 different villages. Not massive in size, but they've got huts and they've at least got, decent looking houses. And over to the right, you can see in the middle of construction what looks like a port. When you get closer to the island, you can all see that the island is actually quite tropical in nature. Palm trees, forests, and other things kind of line the beaches. And even though the jungle that you look into is very, very thick, you can see that it's quite tropical in nature and actually quite loose near the beachhead, probably where a lot of the people have made their villages. You can also see that when you get close to the beach, over to the left of the island is a very tall, looming mountain. And when I say tall, I mean very tall. I mean, this looks like Mount Olympus.
Right, so we're talking like bigger than that fucking mountain that houses Rodrashka?
Yep.
Alright.
Oh joy.
So there's a number of docks that have been constructed here, correct?
Yes.
Damn. I don't look nearly stylish enough.
I assume some of these docks belong to competing merchant families.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you know just how you deal with competition in such a vast and lucrative business as mercantile along the coast of commerce?
You beat them in single combat.
Vlad's going to draw his rifle and make ready as his answer to the question.
Such direct actions are unnecessary.
You gotta say my dear Count because he's Vladimir. Count Vladimir.
He's not Accountant Gabriel.
See, the peasants must call the noble by the noble title, but the noble does not need to call the other noble by noble title. Noble titles are a bitch.
It doesn't give two shits for noble and so forth. It's like she'll call you by name. Unless you tell her to call you something.
Is the nearest competing dock within 800 feet of me?
Yes. Shadow.
It's not within 80 feet of me.
Okay, what are you doing?
Well, I can't really do anything because I can't reach it.
What were you trying to do?
I was going to blow out the support. Sink the dock.
You're such a fucking asshole.
You roll psychic projection. You then realize that the dock is out of your range, and you kill an innocent fish.
Ah, poor fish. That could have been somebody's actual dinner.
I can see the psychic matrix and I'm just gonna nod my head. Sigh.
You defeat the competition by outperforming them.
Outperforming does not mean kill, sir.
I killed nothing. I don't know what you're speaking of.
That poor fish.
Then I'm going to step suspiciously off of the boat.
And it looks like I have to watch his ass so he doesn't get attacked off the boat. Tanya follows.
Sylvia steps off.
Vlad's going to take a moment to take off the fancy, flashy trench coat to put on his dusty black trench coat, and then follow them to the shore.
Yep. I'm going to put on the manticore belt, and I'm going to flick the sword a couple times. Like, you got anything to say?
Wait, are you saying this out loud?
I'm a crazy samurai. I can do what I want.
I'm going to put the ship's lackeys and the hired crew for this purpose to work at constructing my own personal dock.
They begin to do so.
Sword's got nothing to say. I will step off as well.
And
Now,
it's
do I know the estimated time for finishing this dock?
half a week.
At least make a good start to a dock.
Vlad's going to enter into a mental communication with Alphonse and see if he would be willing to, once his personal dock is completed, have his worker crews construct a dock for the Hendel people to use from trade, and he would get a cut of the profits.
As far as another personal dock goes, I should think that it's going to be unnecessary. Given you're a Hendel diplomat, the Hendel people can use my dock until further notice.
Sounds good.
Construction of a second dock would be quite costly.
And we'll cut you in on the profits raised by the Hendel people in this land that are using your dock.
And your boys could use the weapons as a loner.
Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we have 4 days to survey more of the interior of the island. We should determine if we want to leave immediately or if we would like to set up a home base of operations.
Oh,
As
crushing it
much
gets
as I
people
hate to
killed.
say it, wouldn't the boat be kind of be the best home of operations?
Nah. No, it's better to set up like a small area of operations and have the boat ready for turnaround in case of catastrophic failure.
Okay,
think-
fine.
Vlad's going to do a tactics roll to figure out where the best tactical position would be for a forward operating post.
And hopefully one with a forge.
Do I get any modifiers on this?
Actually, if anything, you just roll a normal one just because you've never been to the island before.
Alright, there's my tactics roll for looking for the best tactical spot for a forward operating post that would be able to respond to the docks but also protect itself.
Hold on a moment. You can see that as you look off to the right, kind of almost at the base of the mountain, you notice that there's a pretty decent amount of thick trees and bushes over there that haven't started to be harvested by the local villages. And if you put your base of operations there, you'd have a lot of cover.
I would like to immediately realize my biggest mistake. I forgot to bring a surveyor on this expedition.
Not like you can't just call for one from the mainland.
Goodbye, boat.
Well, remember, there is that barren passenger ship that he could just have that crew, hire that crew to go find one.
Well, I should see if there is one for hire available immediately along the docks
There is.
that currently exist.
There's actually several. Pick one.
I'm going to pick the one that comes most highly recommended.
The one that comes most highly recommended will be 100 gold.
Assuming that I'll be able to make my money back, I'll hire him.
You're noble. Why would you be stingy with your cash?
You hire them. They start to work for you.
Then after we finish setting up a base of operations, which probably doesn't include a forge, given how long that takes to construct. While everyone else does whatever to help set up that base, I'll simply wait around for the expedition to begin. But we will take our guide with us.
All right. As all of you are sitting around near the base of operations as it's getting constructed, you are all approached by a group of 7 heavily armed looking people.
7 heavily armed people.
Clyde's going to discreetly draw his pistol and hold it in his hand in a position of concealment.
Tanya's just gonna reach. Actually, she won't reach for her claymore. She'll at least grab Betty on her waist.
I will be sensible and stand up and say, "Hello, may I help you?" These almond eyes are giving me the creeps.
Hang on a sec. I just completely screwed up the map. Give me a moment. So these 7 men look heavily armored, and when you look up to say, "Hey, gentlemen, can we help you?" they kind of look at each other. And the man in red is approached by one of the men in black, and men in black says, "Is that them, boss?" He says, "Yes. Yes, it is. I can't believe they're making it this easy. They even left the township. Can you believe that? There's no one out here to hear them scream."
Let's see.
Well, as soon as they
Second.
say there's no one out for hear them scream, it's like, well, that just made my day. As she just drops her maul or the blacksmith hammer, basically.
Just a second. Looking for maneuvers here.
So I assume my entire party has decided that this is not an encounter we're going to end diplomatically, correct?
Not yet. No. I'm gonna
Anya
say
already knows. He's like, oh, they're making it easier to hear them scream. It's like, all right, no matter what, they're just gonna attack us. Tanya's getting ready for it.
I go to look for the best position for myself in a flank.
I'm going to
I got a
just
125 that's green on that.
roll
thing
again.
For sure.
1d100.
1d100 plus 125.
I'm going to roll persuasion. Like, can you at least? Can we not do this? No one here needs to get hurt.
So Vlad, your tactics show you that you can easily go over here, and I'll show you on the map. And there are some bushes that they would not be able to really see you from behind if you could get over there.
I move over there.
Oh, I got 122 in that roll. Does the persuasion work?
They do not seem to be persuaded.
What a shame. Can you at least tell me who you are?
We're the bandits of the White Hand. And you're our first victims this month.
What sort of victims do you usually go for? What are your tastes?
Y'all do.
Alphonse is going to stand up and brush himself off, do the whole adjustment thing to make sure he's still looking nice. Gentlemen, I believe there's been a misunderstanding.
And what is that?
And I'm going to immediately attempt to shatter the man in red's head.
Okay.
Oh, even better. As soon as you did that, Tanya's already got the sword at hand because hand's been rising the whole time.
Yep,
I'm glad he's taking aim with his rifle.
I will give Alphonse and Vlad a surprise round just as you can do one action. And Alphonse declared his, Vlad you may declare one, and then I want everyone to roll initiative. So first things first, let's have Alphonse go ahead and do his attack. He has to make a psychic resistance or physical resistance check for that.
He has to make a
Physical resistance, but hold on just one moment. Yeah, I'm going to aim for the head.
All right. So what's he got to beat? Or did you pass it?
It depends on if he can see matrices. He can roll a defense, but if he can't see matrices, he has to roll it with a blindness penalty.
Well, unfortunately for you, one of the few guys in the group you targeted can see matrices. So
Which one did he target?
the guy in red.
Ah, okay.
And what did you say he rolls?
Defense, whatever his defense is.
Well, that got his attention.
Also, did he take the surprise penalty?
Oh, yeah, so that'd be 100 flat.
Wow.
Which I believe is a difference of 5, so I think that's a dead zone.
Yep. You gotta love those dead zones.
Surprise is minus 90.
Oh, minus 90. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. Oh, you are right. Minus 90. So yeah, you hit him with it.
He has to make a physical resistance check according to my potential. Hold on just one moment.
Damn. And then that. Oh god, that's over absurd, isn't it?
Okay, well, he did pass. What happens if he passes? I remember there are some psychic powers that still do stuff even if they hit. Does anything happen here?
Hang on, I'd have to actually go.
No, I
check
don't believe so.
Okay,
and check what Shatter does.
so he looks up and goes, "Oh shit," and jumps back.
Oh, and he is put on the defensive.
Yep,
You said it was Shatter, correct?
yep.
Correct.
Vlad, you may declare one action.
I'm going to take an aimed shot center mass on the closest guy to me with my rifle.
Okay. Roll me your attack.
Do I get a modifier for this surprise on that?
No, you're just going to click attack, and then he's going to get a minus 90 to his defense roll.
Okay. There you go.
Are you kidding me?
Damn.
Yeah, no, he's golden. He's like, oh shit, dodge
Yep.
that.
And he can't counterattack this, so he hears the shot, and in a miraculous piece of luck, your bullet goes right by his hair, actually blowing a small hole in the chunk of his hair and knocking some of his hair off.
Awesome, you gave him a good bob cut.
I'll also at this time, due to that, talk to Tanya mentally to see if Tanya would be able to charge at the ones that are closest to me while I have them focused like that.
Okay, you may say that in a sentence shorter than 6 words.
Well, Tanya was basically good and ready to go.
Tanya, come get this guy.
Crap out of them.
Excellent. So Tanya, he gave you a mental request to attack the guys in front of him.
Awesome, that actually works well for Tanya because bodyguard. Question is, can I get my nemesis off because I was going to draw my weapon and then you were going to shoot anyways? Bot?
Yes, I will say that went off. I imagine you would do that when you draw your weapon anyway.
Yes.
Right. Oh, got 77.
Can you all see your initiative order?
Yes.
I do not see myself on there.
Really? I see you.
Your token, then press the initiative.
Oh no, he's just not on that turn order.
I see him.
Really, I can't see him.
Huh. Odd.
There we go.
Because I
I got a
actually didn't
26
take
for my
token,
rifle.
and then I rolled it from my sheet.
So I believe everyone except Alphonse has rolled initiative.
I did roll initiative,
How about Sylvia?
but
Oh.
it didn't send to my thing.
Oh, you got an open roll. Roll again.
No, I don't think you can open roll on initiative. I don't think so.
You can.
You can? Okay.
Yep, just like you
Yep.
can on it.
Huh. I really gotta tell my GM he is wrong on that one.
Yep. I remember this one specifically because in, again, mine and Tuck's game, we had that one guy that was the big edgelord assassin with the blood of the great beasts. He open rolled so hard he killed a level 8, like what was it, 7 or 8 character in one hit.
Damn.
All right. I'm not going to put the bandits on because that would be way too much work. But Alphonse, you have the first move.
I think the important thing is, does he get another surprise over any of them?
No matter who he attacks, he is going to get a surprise against.
Okay.
Because none of them got an initiative anywhere that close, so they're all surprised.
Okay.
Well, I'm not going to make the same mistake again. Is the red man holding a weapon?
He's not.
Are any of them holding weapons? Is a good question.
Yes, the guys in black are all wearing have short swords and small bucklers. The guy in red does not have a weapon, and the guy in the guy with black hair, the younger looking one, has a bow.
Oh, how cute.
The gentleman holding the bow? I'm going to aim at his bow arm.
Now that's a roll.
That's a hit. I'm not even going to have him roll because there's no way he can even beat that with an open.
Damn.
He has to make a physical resistance check of 120.
He fails.
By 17 points, that would be 34 points of damage and an automatic critical to his arm.
All right. His arm ligaments are completely severed and torn.
Is it an open wound or closed?
It's open wound. As blood sprays everywhere, he screams in pain. How many actions a turn do you have, Alphonse?
Up to 3.
Okay. Well, you have used one. You may do something else.
I'd just like to point out that his arm is irreparably damaged.
Well, yeah, his arm is mush now.
Are you gonna tell that to him in game though? Just add like some metaphorical salt on the wound.
Well, yes, I am going to tell him that in game because he doesn't have an arm anymore. And anyone else who would like to join him can continue with their current actions, or they can flee.
I love it. You're telling him in game, take your turn. You don't have an arm anymore now.
You don't have an arm anymore. You can continue or you can run. Can I just roll that as an intimidate on basically the group?
You may. Okay. Well, the guy with no arm is clearly shaken and scared shitless. The other guys do not appear to be phased, though.
Then again, they don't get to do their actions until after we do ours.
Well, I might go after them.
So let's see. Only one guy here actually managed to get above that score, so... Mr. Kung Fu will run up and attack you, Alphonse.
Oh wait! Hey! Oh wait, never mind. Boo. I was gonna say, Alphonse, you would probably benefit from the being in my aura, but I just realized it's only me.
This is why I maintain Psychic Shield at all times.
Excellent. So he will roll an attack.
I successfully defend.
Dead zone, yep.
So I imagine he takes his punch and he just hits a fucking invisible wall.
Basically,
Oh,
I
Roll
hold my
style.
hand. I hold my hand up and his hand stops moving.
yeah, he sees
Roll
the shield.
style.
He's like, oh shit.
You have to roll style.
If I must.
You must. It is your duty as a noble to look above the rest.
I'm going to have to invest points in this on level up, aren't I?
Yeah, you are.
Well,
Everyone
going
should be
to.
taking style.
That's a 0.
It's a shame.
Actually, it's a -1.
As you block his fist, a little bit of blood immediately splatters in your face from his fist. And he's gonna
Delicious.
he's gonna try a second attack because he can.
Lock again with a -20. Is it?
Yes. For the
Is it for a second defense? It's 30.
Let me.
It's -20 or -30. I know that much.
Minus 30.
I was somewhat close.
Okay, and what is your armor rating versus impact?
Four.
All right. So he will punch you across the face and do 20 damage. All right, let's see, what else can he do? He is going to save his last action. Sylvia is going to dash forward, and she is going to pull this guy into the dimensional door.
Oh God, I feel bad for him.
This
Tanya,
is beautiful, but at least I'm happy.
Tanya, you're up.
Tanya? Good question. Would it be considered a charge and beat this guy in the face?
You can do a charge action.
No, I'm just asking, would I benefit from the charge and smacking him?
I think it's like a +10.
Yeah, it's a +10.
Yeah, +10. Go ahead and charge him, yeah.
Alrighty. Hee. Well then. You know what? I'll use a fatigue.
Well then.
That is certainly a roll.
How are you guys getting the circle to pop on the map when you're clicking somewhere to let someone know
Oh,
where to go?
Click and hold.
Tanya's.
Yep, click and hold like
Okay. Just wondering. Thanks.
All right, so Tanya, that is going to do. Let's see, how much health is this guy? This guy's technically a minion. He's dead.
You dead?
He's dead.
For my second action, how much of an increase on intimidation for that?
I'll say +10. He is now beside himself.
But I didn't hear you that time. You kind of cut out.
+10. The guy is now beside himself.
All right.
He had to split.
Any more of you want to come at me?
He's losing his head, so to speak.
I'm saying it to the other two. It's like, which one?
Oh yeah, I know. They
come at me.
well, they are minding their heads, and they are not intimidated. Dracovius,
Well,
you are up. Or Tanya, I'm sorry, you still have a couple more actions you can declare. And then we'll get to Dracovius.
since
have-
neither one of them is gonna come at me, I'll just go and beat this. Oops, this dude.
Okay, so that was a attack, a skill check, and a move, and an attack. So okay, so yeah, that works. Minus 30.
Minus 25 would be to attack, but yes,
Minus 25,
minus 20.
whatever. Minus 30 and minus 25. Minus 5,000. Take a pick.
I'd say minus 0.
No, minus 25. Okay. This guy meets the same fate. And that is it for your actions.
Yep.
Dracovius, you're up.
Well, for what I really want to do, I have to wait a couple more rounds. But what I can do now is probably move and attack.
Hmm.
Actually, I think I'm gonna wait and do what I want to do. So I'm gonna hold off and accumulate right now.
Okay.
just heads up, Jason. You can declare your accumulation at the start of combat too, to shave off an extra turn.
Indeed.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And since it was being threatened, I'll go ahead and recap and say you at least were able to do it. Since this is your first combat, let's go ahead and, So you've accumulated what you need to right now. What are you going to cast?
I want to cast Dark Beam
All right.
at him.
Okay. Roll me your magic projection.
Okay. Where would I find the projection part at again?
Magic section. Magic tab. Top left corner.
I just love claymoring people with a claymore one-handed.
You said I don't have to worry about projection if they're within 30 feet for mental communication, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I can talk to everybody without projection except for Arata and Dracovius.
Hmm. Dracovius, unfortunately, your dark beam is going to miss.
Dang.
And he goes, "Whoa!" But you've got 2 more actions.
How far do I get to move?
What's
Uh,
your ability?
so I'll just show you, just because for whatever reason, Roll20 and Anima do 2 completely different measurement systems. Dracovius. That's your normal. That's your free movement speed. That's your active movement speed. That's a run.
Well,
So,
I just want to go down here, so
yep, you can move down and whack him if you want.
and I'm going to attack.
All right, roll it. And then you click on attack.
Ooh.
Ooh, not bad.
Nice.
All right, so as you charge him with your halberd, you're not able to land a full-on hit, but you're able to injure him, and he kind of backs off a bit. So he took some damage. Do you want to do something on your 3rd turn, or do you want to save it?
I'll save it.
All right.
Good move.
You could do a free.
Oh yeah.
You still got a free move action because you can do some small movements.
I'll step back some.
All right.
Now, Bot, since we're just taking this moment, to walk them through this, little lesson in pole arms, because I don't know myself. Can they not be used from distance?
They can. So
You
he
can
is
I
still
think,
within reach, but he's backed off. So if the other guy wants to hit him,
Yeah.
he'll have to move.
No, so that's just something important to keep in mind, Jason. You don't need to go right in their face. You can hit them from like 2 squares.
at least
Well,
if you
I'm not used to pole arms. I'm used to long swords. I've played Anima once before, and it was a long sword that I used.
Yep. Cool thing about reach weapons is you can attack from distance. Not only that, if they plan on charging you from straight on through, you get to actually attack them before they hit you.
Yep.
How does one know how many turns they have?
It is dictated
What's
by your agility and dex.
What's your agility and dex added together, Vlad?
16.
So you would be 3, I believe.
I believe that's 3, yes.
3 actions, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Dracovius, you will save your move there. You will save your 3rd action there.
Yeah.
Okay. It is now Arata's turn.
I do a quick chat to the boss man and ask him if he wants me to take care of him or the louts. Talk, that's you.
Kill the louts. The big one is mine.
All right. Where is the thingy for an area attack?
Oh, you have an area attack?
Dachi-san.
Ah.
Eventually, I'll have to get the module for reduced penalties, but for the time being, Apache area.
Go to the base versus area attack. You take a minus 25.
Okay. So I'm going to charge, and I will spend 2 fatigue points on this attack, so the penalty will be at a -5.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh wait, it's 15, so it's -10.
Mm-hmm. You kill them both.
All right, style.
Of course, you would style that.
Not
How
bad.
difficult? How difficult is it for me to grab their heads? It's just shout out, "Give me your heads!" You
Unfortunately,
know good
not.
bandits.
Unfortunately, that style roll isn't enough to do that. But if you've seen the movie Lupin the Third, Gomon's each cow a splay of blood, when he does the whole thing where he cuts the guy like almost in half and it just sprays and it happens to the 2 guys simultaneously, that's what you did.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Coupon is so great. It's a fucking classic.
Vlad, you're up.
I suggest going behind Tanya.
Trying to decide which one I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a shot with my rifle towards the injured archer.
All right.
Oh, the injured archer. Nice.
Yeah, this is basically going to be a coup de grace, Vlad. He's already grasping his hand in pain, and he's screaming, and then his screaming is brought to an abrupt halt by a bullet.
Right through the mouth.
I was aiming for the left eye.
Ooh, you should have did a called shot. That would have been even better.
Either
But
way,
also-
his head. I assumed it was the head, so his head explodes.
Yeah. Sweet.
So you got 2 more actions.
Oh.
Then the second thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a shot at the at this guy.
All right. So same attack, except you're going to do a -30 or -25.
Is that a modifier on that?
It's
Or a
because
fatigue?
it's because it's your second action, so the modifier would be -25.
Yes. Are you actually aiming for a specific body part?
Headshots all day.
All right, so I'll go ahead and calculate that in then. 106. All right, he manages to avoid your shot. Barely. Actually, he'll even take a little bit of damage from that. He actually beat you and he takes damage from that. That's ridiculous.
Then my last one that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a hide where I'm at.
All right.
Ah, curses! You went behind
Roll
Tanya.
roll me a hide at a -20. Since you literally just shot 2 loud shots at one guy and killed the other one. All right. Just to save a little bit of time here, I'm just going to go ahead and go back up to the top to Alphonse.
I'm actually going to aim for the gentleman's calf.
All right, calf. That is a -10.
Shit rolls, yay!
This is actually a good question. Can opponents counterattack psychic attacks?
Not if I have surprise on them.
Hmm. Well, you had
If
surprise.
this-
You did have surprise on him the last turn, but he's not surprised anymore. So would he be able to do that?
The question
He
is,
would.
All right.
able
So
to
this is enough for a
counterattack-
counter. This is enough for a counterattack.
That's the tricky part because it's psychic ability versus physical.
Okay. And I forget, when he rolls a counterattack, is it against your first initial attack, or do you roll your own defense against the counterattack?
He gets
You roll defense.
original with,
Excellent. So you win. You try to go for his calf, he manages to avoid it, and he throws another punch at you, but once again, his hand stops.
I'm going to stop maintaining my psychokinetic armor and switch to psychokinetic flight instead.
Okay.
That way I can hover out of his reach.
So do you go ahead and use that power right now to float?
Yes, I'm going to float up out of his reach.
All right. I assume your flight speed is more than 1, so you easily get out of his reach.
Yeah, no, it's base 6.
Excellent. So he is going to start gathering ki. And Sylvia is doing her thing in the gauntlet. So Tanya, you're up.
Oh, so he's doing his little key thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to shout an order as a free action.
Mm-hmm.
Take his legs.
Oh, hang on, let me see. Legs. It should be. What? Awesome. All right. So, I could get a full charge with no interruption on this one.
And I'll go ahead and roll for that one guy you passed. He misses.
Hey, I could care less if he does. Just for shits and giggles, I'll spend 2 for this guy, because you want the legs.
2 fatigue?
Yep.
Alright.
And so that would be 15. Make it 2.
I got you, bro. I'm reading your mind.
I'm just trying to figure out how much of the mathematics because of +10 because of the charge, and the 2 fatigue, which is
It's plus 40.
So +40, and that makes it a -10.
There you go.
Thanks, man.
Yep.
Okay. 60% weapon damage to targeted limb.
Yep. And that was
Jeez.
the legs of cut.
Ouch. Hope y'all got fired or cauterized that shit. That ain't gonna be fun.
That's a critical. Roll me a d100.
Alright then, hang on a second.
Oh, goodbye, leg.
His leg actually is not off, but you have severed an artery.
Ooh! Ugh.
Goodbye, arteries in your legs.
Can you hear the coming from his leg?
Actually, this is anime. Actually, this is anime, so it sounds like.
You know what? You know
Sounds
what?
like running water.
I'm gonna roll style for that. How much a bonus on top of that? Insanity.
I'll give you a +10.
See? But I'm slowly converting them. These non-believers.
He also takes an all-action penalty equivalent to the critical, so he's going to have a hard time hitting anything.
Yep.
Hooray for pain!
Tanya, are you going to declare any more actions? I think you have used 2.
Any of other of you boys have the balls to take me on? I could take you all on with one hand tied behind my back.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
You know what? She'll even put one of her hands behind her back as she's one-handing the claymore. Still.
Excellent. Go ahead and roll me another style, this time +30. You flip your cape back as the wind is slightly blowing, and it makes you look cool with your hand behind your back and one claymore.
It just makes you look
Along
cool.
with her hair fluttering in the wind. When there's no wind.
Dracovius, you're up.
Well, let's see, what can I do? I'm actually wanting to get closer to him.
It's no biggie. You can move through allies as a free action, so you can easily get to him and stab him. Heck, you could actually stab him from here.
Heck, better yet, you can stab him from right there. And then Sonya could technically protect your ass if you get attacked.
Excellent.
In that case, I shall stab him.
Alright, do you want to spend a fatigue to give yourself a bonus?
Sure.
Alright, now refresh my memory, guys. How much does a fatigue give you?
Plus 15.
Plus 15.
Plus
Alright.
15 automatically puts it in no matter what. As soon as you put in fatigue.
So that'd be one. So when you click on attack and it says fatigue, put in 1 and then modifier 0.
Basically.
Excellent. Alright.
Now he already had a flesh wound for my round, right?
He was nicked, yeah. So, oh my god.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, so let's see. This is going to be 120% weapon damage. And the halberd at base does 60.
120 damage.
So, yeah, you impale this guy.
Well, it is a thrusting weapon, so yeah.
Yeah, that's my line.
Excellent.
Wow, Samurai, he's got better reach than you.
Oh yeah, it's almost as if he's using something attached to a pole, and it's also armed.
Hey guys, just a quick observation I made. It appears that Vlad has the most range of the party. It's almost as if he's using some kind of projectile weapon.
No, he's not. He's using his magic stick.
Arata, you are
Oh.
next.
Yes,
I'm
I
using
am.
magic boomstick. It goes boom and people magically fall over.
So, let's see. I want to run over to the last lout remaining, and I want to knock his ass out.
So
Non-lethal?
Non-lethal.
beautiful. Wait, you have an impact weapon?
Just hit him with the hilt of the sword.
Usually, as a DM,
works.
in most campaigns, I'll allow people to try and do non-lethal actions with something that would, be reasonable. For example, if Vlad said, "I wish to do non-lethal action with my gun," I'd be like, "Bullshit." But if Vlad said, "I wish to shoot him in the foot and slow him down," that's one thing. If a guy said, "I wish to hit this guy lethally with my sword," well, he does have a naginata, which has a flat end or a non-bladed end, false edge, on the side, so he could just
Yep.
flip the sword over and whack him in the head. Granted, if you
I-
are going for non-lethal, I house rule it that it's an automatic -10.
Oh, okay. If I'm just looking at it here, it's actually minus 40. So it's up to you if you want that to fly or not.
Yep, but he is scared and frightened and not defending, so that -40 only goes to a -10.
All right, thank you, sir.
Heck, like
Now,
Tanya
if I want to do a non-lethal with my
of a dude.
rifle, that would be more like a rifle butt.
Yeah, if
Right.
you got within melee distance and actually wanted to say non-lethal, yeah, you just crack him in the head with a rifle butt.
Hell, if you really want to, Tanya could
I'm
give you one of the rifles that you can totally just literally
no,
with.
no. I'm gonna pistol whip somebody to where it leaves an imprint of Sickfist Pock and Parabellum on their forehead.
Oh, you gotta fire it first and then just push it on their fucking head.
But one of these days, I will do
Yes.
that.
I look forward to it.
Not enough to knock him out, but he's seriously dazed.
Okay. I'll attempt it again. If he can't do anything else.
Yep, he's out of actions.
All right.
Just keep beating samurai brutality. Samurai brutality.
I totally envision Arata's mouth moving really, really quickly, and then, halfway through while it's moving, it goes, "Die."
You crack him right in the head and knock him out.
Fuck yeah.
Like a poorly subtitled anime. His
Mhm.
mouth is moving really quickly, and it just says, "Die."
Oh man, lad, you should see the latest Dragon Ball Z games. They're notorious for this.
Vlad, you are up.
Oh, he's not gonna do a style roll?
Oh,
We
Thank you.
broke him out of his style.
I was waiting for his
Oh,
style
damn it.
roll for his last move.
It goes all anime speed lines as you whack him in the head, and he slowly, in slow motion, falls to the ground.
Fatality.
but not before that second hit comes in and he goes flying the other way.
All right, Mr. Vladimir, you're up.
I'd like to communicate mentally with Alphonse to see if he'd like me to try to strike some fear into the boss man by an intimidation through mental communication on the enemy boss.
Just get his legs.
Copy
Well, Tanya did dissever some of the nerves in his legs. So
Well, artery, but you, Zeta, you want to know a fun fact about bleeding in Anima?
What?
It's 1 point.
that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a shot at his leg that's not wounded, and I'd like to try to put a fatigue into that. So I just put 1 fatigue, right?
Yep.
And do I add any modifiers for that either?
-10. Nice.
specifically aiming for the kneecap on his non-wounded leg.
You're just mean.
It is unfortunately a miss. Even with his severed artery leg and him bleeding out and basically dying, he manages to dodge.
Alright, I'm gonna do that same attack again. Spending another fatigue.
Odds right in front
ahead.
of me. Can I take a swing at him? 'Cause I
Now
did
what?
roll-
Now what do I use for the modifier?
This will be a minus
25?
Well, he's got the additional 10 because he's still targeting the leg, so that'll be minus 35.
But yes, bot.
Yep, I will. Hold on. Oh yeah, you hit him in the leg. It's not a critical, but you damage him pretty bad. Tanya, you may actually go ahead and do this because in order to dodge, he had to do a little shuffle move that he did, and Tanya and Alphonse may make a free attack of opportunity if they wish.
Oh, Tanya's gonna be doing it. It's just gonna be the. She's not gonna kill him. She's gonna use the impact of her blade. So this would be the back or the back of the head.
Yeah, the flat side of the blade to the back of the head. All right.
So that's a minus 100, I think it is.
Well, it's a minus 40 if you want to do a non-lethal takedown. You're doing attack of opportunity, so there's no other minuses right now unless you're doing something else.
All right, so minus 40. Sweet.
Wait till you guys see what his modifier is to dodge this.
Oh, and since it's impact, it would be when it would be 140 impact because Tai Chi.
So, as the battle comes to an abrupt end, actually the battle itself ends with a loud going, and he falls over instantly KO'd.
Tanya's roll style of how much?
And as if by sheer coincidence, after the battle is over, the sun dissipates behind the clouds and it starts to rain, making you all look way more badass.
Yes.
I could roll how much more badass because of that one.
Is this the part where just for Tanya in the background it goes dee 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 dee?
Yes, you can hear that
No,
very, very faintly, very far away.
I get some kind of ringtone on a very advanced device of the cellular variety. And then you hear that.
So I'm gonna float down and stand on the dude's head that punched me.
Real style.
Do I really have to roll style to stand in a place?
No, you don't. You don't. No one has to roll style if they don't want to. It just adds flair. And you see Sylvia pop out of her dimensional door. She flicks some blood off her sword and sheathes it.
Oh, I'm not done.
Oh, Sylvia, you're back. Wait.
He's unconscious and therefore unable to move. I'm going to remove the arm that punched me.
Are you going to stop the bleeding too, sir?
Nope.
You're a cocksucker, sir.
And you guys say that I'm evil.
I am very prideful, and he violated my face.
Oh,
Taking it too far, sir.
well, if he ruined your face, well, I can do something better than that.
Well,
If you allow me to, good sir.
Oh no, this is personal.
Well, Arata's sitting there reminding the Baron about how unethical what he's doing. I mentally tell Arata we did worse things at war together.
Sylvia just kind of looks, seems to be indifferent.
I go ahead and chuckle a bit and laugh. We're still here.
Tanya doesn't give two shits, basically. She just offered if she wanted some assistance. Refused it, so she's cool. She'll sit back and watch.
So you surgically remove his arm.
Yeah, I was gonna. Not even surgically. His arm straight up explodes in a shower of gore.
Yeah, he's losing way too much blood to survive. So let's see. Okay, I'm gonna roll a d100. If he gets a 100, he lives. If he gets anything else, he's dead.
Question.
I'm just gonna stop that. It's like, okay, you know what? I'll fix that. Where's his arm?
He's dead.
So close, though.
This is why I told you not to do it, sir.
What, he's still alive or is he dead?
No, he's dead.
Fucking dead.
He had 2 major arteries severed. He got shot in the kneecap, and he just had his arm ripped off. None of the bleeding stopped.
Yeah, I was gonna basically do some essence eating. It's like, yep, that's technically fixed because it no longer exists.
I will allow you to essence eat this guy because he is there is still technically life flowing through his body.
So he would have to make a physical resist of.
He's dead. He doesn't resist.
Yeah, he
fucking
ain't gonna
thing.
be okay. No, hold on. I'll humor him. I'll make a physical resistance check. Check this out.
What?
All right.
There you go.
Just to give you an idea. Just to give you.
Rolled style.
So yeah, I basically absorbed the hell out of him.
I'm going to shake my head at these barbarians.
What have we here?
Sylvia kind of looks, takes a small vial from her pouch, fills it up with his blood, puts it back in her pouch, nods, and says, I did think our first expedition to the new continent would at least have more polite company greeting us, but I guess not.
Oh, chime in. I got Lout here. Lout number F. At over my shoulder. Yeah, but this idiot will make do.
Keep him restrained. We'll use him as an example so that hopefully the next company that decides to join us will be more friendly.
Hold on. Wait.
I guess that's true.
I'm going to glare stylishly at you and say, if you wanted to make an example, you should have let him live.
I did let one live,
No, I let one live.
and I
I'm
continue
gonna-
to let him live.
I'm going to interrupt them
This is
and
taking up-
communicate with Alphonse, Tanya, and Arata mentally and say, I could just impale him outside the gates of our fort.
Oh.
Technically, we could always impale all these guys on our front porch, but that would make some interesting dilemma to the natives and non-natives.
I want to make a notice roll.
Notice to what?
Hold on. Yeah. No, search. Search is more active.
Yeah, search probably work.
All right. So with my search roll, do I see that I'm traveling with a bunch of savages?
Contrary to some sudden outbursts of rage, we're not complete barbarians.
We got
We'll
a
be-
murder hobo
A barbarian
lady.
pretty big chick.
We will
Murder
execute
hobo
him properly
psychic.
when we return to the docks.
It's. Oh, yeah.
Banditry is a crime punishable by death. It's only fair that he face his fate like a man.
And while you are correct in that line of thinking, we're on a new continent. There are no established laws.
I am a
What if they had
representative of the
friends?
country of Gabriel. He has attacked my diplomatic excursion. He is therefore falls under the jurisdiction of Gabriel. He will be executed for his crimes, according to Gabrielen's law.
This is where I chime in and
Go on.
say to the three of them mentally, what about the Hendel laws? I impale all the people who break my laws.
We could execute him according to Hendel laws. I suppose we should let Sir Arata make his decision.
I don't care either way, as long as neither one of them, either you two, which I am obligated to protect.
Errata? Roll me a psychic.
Well.
Errata.
Yes.
Roll me a psychic resistance check, difficulty 180, and a style.
All right. Ow.
Ow, indeed.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you allow fumbles or open rolls on resistance checks?
Yeah,
I allow open rolls on everything.
Okay.
My man. I still fail, but my man.
Damn. That's pretty bad.
And then, of course, a style. Errata.
Yes.
Sakamoto Arata. What are you doing? This man insulted your honor. He insulted your family. He insulted your friends. This man should not live. He made his choice when he chose to raise arms against you and your allies. It is time that we gave this man a warrior's death. But he does not deserve a warrior's death on his feet. He deserves one on his knees. Now take me and end him properly. And you find yourself unable to resist this. You pull out your naginata.
Good question.
As
Not
he
that
is-
No
I-
Dachi.
No, Dachi, sorry.
Sorry. People
As-
keep saying Naginata. Naginata is a spirit.
Nadachi, sorry, I'm
spirit.
sorry. I know what a Nadachi is. I have one. Yeah, I'm sorry. So the man slowly starts to come to consciousness as he's bound on his knees, and you find yourself drawing Daichi, and you put it to his neck,
bot.
and
Question.
hold on, and you raise it in a high gesturing manner, and with a swiftness that even your companions are surprised in, you sever his head from his body, and his body slumps to the ground. For a moment, all is quiet in your head except for a small, dull ringing and the rain. And then it's nothing but the rain as you stand there, looking down at the man, and you finally regain control.
Mentally to Arata, I go, well, there goes having the best lawn ornament in this new world.
Let's see. God, my style just isn't with me today.
To be fair, you look like a badass covered in blood, and the rain is washing away the blood and it's drying off the sword. It's just awesome anime scene right now.
You say awesome. For me, this is traumatic. I just went against myself. I'm gonna just start fucking. I just went on this big old tirade and I just fucking murdered this guy in cold blood.
Yeah, you
And
dishonored yourself as a samurai, apparently.
I just went against my own code. I don't know how to respond to this.
I also needed him to make an example towards future bandits, so I'm taking that out of your paycheck.
Oh, I'm just gonna fucking drop to my knees and start screaming in anger, and apparently
Oh, yes.
not very stylishly.
spot, was that what supernatural? Because
Yeah, you saw a thing come out of his sword and possess his body.
where did you get that sword? Tanya saying as she's holding her claymore.
What are you talking about? I got it from the armory when I received my position.
That's not normal. I'm gonna give you one of my swords. I would
I'm
prefer
not going
you.
to take your sword that I'm not trained in.
No, she has a naginata. She actually made that was the
No
second
daichi.
hardest thing.
I'm going to start having conniptions.
Have all the
The
conniptions.
second hardest thing
Do it.
she's made is a nodachi.
I mean, Santa, you know how this is going to end, right?
Uh, no.
Okay, so in proper plot form, you're going to give it to me, but I'm still going to be drawn to my Nodachi because this is clearly like a plot device.
Yeah, it's just
So,
more that it's something that she is more like seeing that she doesn't trust that
To
one.
be fair, he's acting in character. Her character being the way she is would definitely offer to forge you a good naginata, and probably could forge a damn good one.
She
It's
has
Odachi.
no daichi, and it it's I'm not giving away anything, but that is in character for her.
okay.
she has one white steel nodachi plus
Do you
10.
do you not know how to make Electra yet, or is that one of your character goals?
That one is more of the this is a family sword.
Yeah, he can't make Electra yet. That's not for quite some time.
Okay.
All he
I
can
mean,
do all he can do right now is white steel and obsidian, I believe.
yeah,
White
the black
steel,
steel.
black steel, and anything that's lower.
Okay,
Still,
so
plus
It's
10, not plus
impressive.
10 Nadachi. That's pretty good.
Yes, that's the maximum you can go with a white steel.
all right. So I mean, I'm going to take it. And, I'm not still not quite sure how to think of this, and I don't know why I lost control. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna like
you know what?
accept this is like a gift to try and make me feel a little better about what the fuck just happened.
And you know what? I don't. You don't even have to pay me for it because I don't trust that thing. As she points at that weapon, and if you want, I can destroy that for you.
Well, what have we here?
I'm
Oh,
gonna
set.
We have
I'm
here a possessed sword. That's what we have
I,
here.
I'm going to kill that bitch in the background. I swear to God.
So Vlad is going to communicate directly to Arata through the mind with, I'm glad that you got back in touch with your warrior spirit. Let's see that more often.
Oh, Vlad! If only you could see the shit eating grin on my face right now.
My grin is so big it's gone off my face.
Pretty much. Uh, I'll accept it. I will accept the Nodachi, and I'm just gonna get up. I'm gonna sulk back to the ship for a bit. I need to
All
think.
right. I assume the white steel is actually better than your default, so you're getting an additional plus 10 to your attack and block now.
All right.
Because your original Dodachi was not anything special. It was just normal, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so now you have a white steel plus 10 Dodachi. Congratulations.
Now I'm going to dual wield them. Not learning anything. But
Well,
yes, we
well,
will see how that goes.
He can actually do that.
I know.
it's just more of a you take minus on the attack, and I will take it off the list.
And add it to mine.
Yep.
The fact that you're going to actually dual wield Nodachi kind of makes me rock hard.
Oh, So my question is, will you get rock hard if I start dueling a claymore and a bastard sword?
No, the Nodachi thing has been specifically something I've wanted to see in an anime game in a long time. And I think I mentioned it to Eckert once.
Mm.
I do have a two-bladed dual sword, a dual
The
katana.
the goofiest thing I've seen. Oh yeah, so Tanya, you are literally down to I think only 2 weapons left.
A few, because over the 2 year span,
Hmm.
I've been keeping a
Actually,
just traction.
the strangest weapon combination I ever saw was dual boomerang, but I'm sorry,
It takes all kinds.
dual giant boomerang.
Well, my one question is, I could drop it down to 4 items if you're allowing to give me at least 500 gold.
I'd say yeah, just because you had a limited amount of weapons with you from the start, and I don't want you to start adding stuff on. So you've given away
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4 weapons. So go ahead and give yourself the gold and lower your weapons to 3 or 4.
All right.
I was actually gonna request Tanya to make a rapier that's similar
Yeah,
to my
Oh,
he is
family
if you want to
ceremonial
know,
rapier.
he
I
can
actually have a
forge.
black steel rapier.
Yeah, he can forge. Like if you guys want anything from him, he can start forging and gathering, supplies to forge and whatnot, depending upon what you guys want, and he can start making forge rolls when he gets the forge set up, which will be very soon. And then you guys can start making requests of him.
Yep. So you would get one of the black steel rapiers before it actually is of the one things that was sold.
Well, if you're just going to give it to him, then go ahead and don't add that gold to your thing.
Yeah, that's the one that doesn't get added.
All right.
So now I'm down to 2 items basically.
Okay, so Vlad, she gives you a black steel rapier. It's black.
Well, I was gonna ask her to duplicate my ceremonial family rapier into one, like duplicate the um I guess I don't know what to call
Design.
it. The designs and the
Hmm.
intricacies into the
Yep,
rapier that she already had.
that will
Oh,
be a
you want me to do
that will be a forge roll
that?
for her later.
Well, if you get me a
Yeah.
forge, I could actually customize it to make it even better and have that, and you could even rename it. I'll even actually place a spot to actually carve the actual name into it of your choosing.
See, now this
Get
is an
me.
awesome anima group. They've just brutally murdered bandits that tried to kill him. Another talking prophet. That's how
Oh,
you do
Tanya
it.
would.
So
No, Alphonse literally has a tear in his eye right now at hearing this.
Murder and profit. It's like my entire business.
Beautiful.
Well, that
well,
that's exactly what I was sent out to do. Also, was to establish trade and
No,
diplomacy.
all we have to do is collapse a dock of a competitor, and the trifecta will be complete.
oh, hey,
Uh,
little profiteering, murdering hobo. Don't forget to loot Mr. Big Guns over there.
Oh, I was already planning on looting all of them. Anyways,
Okay, I'll go ahead and divvy up the loot here. In total, you guys find 6 long swords, standard quality, 6 bucklers, standard quality. On the big baddie, there were 2 bracers of high quality. And on the guy that Sylvia had killed and she brought back through the dimensional door, he had 10 gold on him.
hmm. Hey, bossman, do you give a shit if I take those bracers?
Anybody else want to contest the ownership of the bracers? I don't want them.
I don't imagine you would, but I'm not there to object.
They don't go with my coat.
Just sulking on the beach at this point.
Sylvia looks over at Dracovius.
I really have no quarrel.
Sylvia shrugs and says, I have no need for them either.
Well, I just want something to at least be able to defend when I'm using my hands against wolves.
In all honesty, Tanya, I think they fit you the best.
Oh, thank
It's not a
you.
compliment.
Actually, that was a compliment. Silence you, or she'll pull you into the dimensional door.
Please do? I'm dishonored. I dishonored myself.
You are very dishonorable.
Well, you're gonna be honoring yourself when I give you the one Nakatashi. Damn it!
That just sounds weird. He's going to be
That's
honoring himself.
that you're having.
All right. So, Sakamoto, I take it you're just sitting there kind of kneeling and in somewhat of a wallow, even with your new awesome sword.
Yes.
Okay. Sylvia, in a bizarre twist, sends a mental message to you, Alphonse, and she says, "If you wish to take the others, I wish to have a discussion with Mr. Arata alone, please, if that would be all right."
But take them where is the question. This is our home camp.
Well, you guys are just slightly outside. Like, move over there.
Okay, I will call Dracovius, Tanya, and Vlad to go back to camp and leave the immediate scouting to Mr. Arata and our guest.
Very well. I will assume Tanya will go at the forge. I will assume Jacovius will help with the forge.
Wait,
Yeah.
so they're actually making a forge for Tanya now?
Tanya and Jacovius are both aiding to make the forge right now. Yeah.
Oh, yay!
Since Mr. Alphonse has taken into account that this would take some time, you guys have hired help doing all the rest. So if Tanya wants to start work on the forge, Jacovius is willing to help. So you're good.
Alrighty.
And I'll go back to the camp and start forging more rifle ammo.
hmm I think you fired
Okay.
3 or 4 shots.
Or by my count.
I'm down to 19 by my count. I started at 25.
Oh, okay. So 6 shots.
Good on you, Vlad. Keeping it honest.
Nice.
All right. So the scene will now dive to Sylvia and Arata, with Arata on his knees as the rain just simply has now washed away all of the blood, except for the body that he decapitated is now starting to kind of make a little pool, but because it's raining so heavily, there's a small little puddle of blood forming over to the left.
I'm just gonna sigh deeply, and I'm still just trying to come into terms with what I just did.
Arata,
Lady Sylvia,
what's wrong?
what's wrong? What's wrong indeed? What happened here shouldn't have happened. I had a moment of weakness, it seems. After all my grandstanding, it didn't matter. And I took this man's life without so much as learning a thing, and to waste such a death without any just cause. Sure, he tried to kill us, he did all this, he's probably done it to the others. But for me, I at least wanted to have a final chat before he died. Give him the honor of doing it himself. Maybe. Maybe he's from Lynette. Follows the customs. I don't know. If he wanted to die, I would have given him the option of how to die. But no. A voice commanded me, and I couldn't resist. And off went his head.
I see. Well, it's understandable. You know what I know? You know what I've noticed, Harada? When we go through life, most people are often trying to follow one of two things. Actually, both. One, everyone is always trying to be in total control over themselves and others. Two, everyone is always trying to follow their own code. And everyone thinks that when we break our code and when we lose control, that we are below human, that we are below what we should be. But you know what I've noticed? In reality, it is not the fact that we have lost control or broken our codes. It's how we respond after that makes us who we truly are. I see you as someone who lost control, not by your own will, but by something else, it seems, as she takes a look at the sword and looks back at you and said, and actually feels bad for this man, for this pathetic man that tried to kill us for no reason. And yet you actually do show honor and remorse. That makes you truly above many others. The fact that you even give a damn. Consider that your strength, and know that you will have many more failures and many more breaks in honor in the future. And you must prepare yourself for them. And that will be your true test as a warrior.
And Sylvia, just like a stat wise, she has the sea supernatural too. I
Mm-hmm.
assume she does. Okay. So I'll stand up, I'll face her. And I just, the only question is, what do I do with this? And I'll hold out the katana. Nodachi. Now I'm fucking it up.
So you
Now
hold
you're doing
you hold out the evil Nodachi, and she takes it. She looks at it. I see.
If
Where
you
did
could
you,
do
where
what
did
I
you
see.
where did you get this blade?
As I said to Tanya not too long ago, once I got my position as the front liner, I just got that sword from the armory. Nothing special that I could discern from it at the time. Just standard Nodachi.
She looks and frowns and says, "This sword is possessed by an Akutiki."
Akutiki. Roll history.
Wait, out of character. Isn't that one of those things that only the Japanese would know about the most?
It's a Oriental culture demon. Yeah, it's an Eastern it's an Eastern philosophy.
So you'd get bonus on that, baby.
Oh, what do I get, boss man?
Plus 20.
Okay. Fine. So, okay. So 76 plus 20 plus 10, 106.
Okay. An Akutiki is a demon that often possesses weapons or souls and brings out the yin in people. When it brings out the yin of a person's soul, it feeds off of it. Of course, yin is the collection of hatred and distrust and agony that everyone feels inside their souls, hence yin and yang. This thing was feeding off of your yin.
Yeah.
And then she takes it, turns, holds it like a spear, opens a dimensional door, and throws it in.
Huh. Well, I guess that's one way to deal with it.
She looks very thoughtfully at the area where the dimensional door was, turns back to you, and says, I don't know who I don't know what the situation is behind that weapon, but you're lucky to be alive if you had it for that long.
Several years for sure.
Let's see this sword that your friend Tanya gave you. I wish to see this. She makes very decent weapons.
I'll hand it to her.
She pulls it out, and it is a beautiful sheen of white steel. And it is mirror. Like literally, you could use this thing to shave.
Whew.
Yep.
And when she pulls it out, you almost hear a slight kind of ringing, but it's very faint. And when it swings, you swear you could almost hear the metal sort of glisten. And then when she sees that it sheathes in a hard clack, and it's very satisfying when you hear that. It's a very high quality weapon. And she hands it back to you. She hands it back to you, hilt facing forward.
Excellent. I will take it, sling it along the back. Yep. Well, I guess if the. Where the hell were you from again?
Who? Tanya?
Yeah.
She's from Del
Delborn.
Delborn,
California.
the place of weapon making. So that's impressive to see a Eastern one there. That is rare.
Oh, maybe. I'm
And
not
she
giving.
did that on, and that she did say that was her second hardest weapon she's ever made.
Well, I guess the young lady ain't too bad. I
She
don't give
nods.
her nearly enough credit.
You have decent companions.
Yep.
Have faith in yourself. Have faith in them. You'll be fine. I've been
Yep.
I've been all across the continent and I've seen many things. But I have seen many fail and I have seen many succeed. I have seen also many good people and I have seen many evil people. You're all right.
I'm all right.
She chuckles.
I'm gonna start laughing too.
Remember, Harada, positive attitude on the battlefield. It makes you fight far better.
I'll keep that in mind.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And you've noticed one other thing.
Yes.
She told you what she was. And
Yes.
even though it's raining, she is clearly standing out in sunlight.
Hmm. Well, I mean, if you want to get very specific about it, then she was doing the same thing over there when we picked her up.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, you're the only one who actually knows she's not maybe or may not
Well,
be.
Alphonse knows.
right. So, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but if you want him, he's right there. If not, I'll just go bury him.
She pulls the vial that she filled up with the other guy's blood earlier out of her pouch, takes a swig, puts it back into her pouch, smiles.
Very well then. That's well. Then. Thank you for your words of encouragement. I'm going to bow again and proceed to pick up this corpse and bury it.
Of course. I'll see you all soon. And she goes trotting off towards the docks.
Very well.
And with that, we will end the session.
One more thing.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Just for safety's sake, I'm going to have at least one lackey separate the bodies of the fallen bandits and bury them shallowly in several different graves.
Okay.
Not that
Arms
one.
with arms, legs with legs, torsos with torsos.
You're not
Sure,
taking this one
Tania
from me.
wouldn't refuse
This is a new continent that can't be scribed. There's undoubtedly supernatural forces at work here. We don't want them coming back for us.
Alphonse.
Well, then, if you're gonna say it with that, then yes, Tanya would definitely do it because
Yep, I'm
you
actually, at
know,
this point, I'm going to tell you guys a cool thing I do in a lot of roleplay games. Even though I'm having this campaign go at a very slow pace and it will probably take forever before you guys ever hit level 5, due to smart ideologies, good roleplay, and other aspects, I actually give out small little rewards. I also give rewards for backstory, which I'm slowly giving you guys, as you can see.
Mhm.
So, Alphonse, that was a really awesome idea that you just thought of that you thought ahead about that. I think that's pretty awesome. I want you to
I am a
write,
smart man.
yes, I want you to write somewhere on your sheet that you have 1 knowledge point. What this lets you do is, if you spend this knowledge point, you may re-roll any psionic or intellectual or social roll if you're unsatisfied with the result. In other words, it gives you a free re-roll.
Nice.
Vlad,
Hmm.
you may do the same. I'm giving yours, put anywhere on your sheet. Tactical genius. Same thing, except it can only be done with a tactics roll. So you get 1 tactical genius point. If you roll a tactics and it's a really bad result, you can spend that point and you can roll again. Tanya, due to decent roleplay and sticking with your character's theme, same thing for you, except it's for forging. A forge roll.
for whom?
For you, Tanya, you.
Okay.
Dracovius, I know you're somewhat new to this, but you did a pretty decent job with what I gave you, and you improvised very, very quickly. That's pretty cool. I like that. Once you start getting your character's backstory and kind of more about what your character's, kind of character is and how he wants to act and interact with these guys, I can't wait to see that. You did a pretty darn good job for just getting thrown into it, and I give you a thumbs up. Awesome. Go ahead and give yourself 1 feat point that you may spend on a combat roll that you're dissatisfied with. Did you get that, Jason?
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, once again, very good job. And for roleplay purposes, Arata, you did an awesome freaking job. I like how where we're going with the story. You took what I gave you, and rather than seeing it as a hindrance, you turned it into an awesome session for roleplay.
Yeah.
Give yourself a motherfucking style point.
Yeah.
Next time you roll a style roll, you may add a plus 100 to it if you spend that point.
Fuck yeah.
Heck, and you actually got to see Tanya actually show some actual compassion for a person.
Yes. Yes, I
Well,
did,
to
and
be
I'm a
fair,
little pleased by that.
we saw a lot of straddling and half-ass sex last time, so yeah.
It was more like she was just like, you know what, you did somewhat good that she'll actually show that she actually is kind of a girl. It just happened that his style over mine.
It also happened that you utterly failed your style and you wound up straddling him rather than just simply
Yeah.
giving him a kiss, but it was funny. Just like when Alphonse kept breaking vases.
Yes, the lovely vases.
Excellent form on those broken vases.
Helion is proud of today.
Nobody can prove that I broke those vases.
By the way, how many
Hey,
how many rounds did I create with my forging roll there?
Okay, as a last minute forge roll, I'll say you made another 5. And it's at this point, Vlad, that you are actually slowly starting to run out of material for your bullets. Might want to
Hi.
what
might want to pick
material
some
have
more up.
you used to make your bullets is a good question.
Well, the thing is, it's not the metals. It's not the metals that are supposedly, or the cartridges that are supposedly hard to do. It's just that he does need to find the powder, and powder is kind of rare in Anima, although you can find it, mine it, and buy it. So it's not a big deal, but he's running a little low on the powder.
Powder, like, does it have to be a specific type of powder?
It's gun. It's basically explosive gunpowder phosphorus. So yeah,
So,
Smokeless gunpowder.
smokeless.
smoke this gunpowder.
Yeah, yeah, because
Smokeless
I was gonna
gunpowder
say
for
that
my cartridges.
basically the lovely fun part about Essence Eater, it's like, okay, anything they touch tends to usually turn to ash. If it's an item. If it's something that's a living thing, it has to pass a fortitude.
Now, out of character, Dracovius still has no idea who I am or what I'm doing because I haven't actually talked directly to him through my mental communication.
That's
So he
correct.
just thinks I'm a weird mute guy that's really good with a rifle.
hmm Dracovius has come in basically
Right.
looking for a job, looking to get some work, and he's the only thing he has heard from you guys at all is from Sylvia.
He's heard from Sylvia that Tanya is a very big chick with a weapon.
Well, yeah, he
She didn't
sees
know
he here. How does Dracovius know that? He turns around. He just aided a fight with you guys. Yes, yes, Zeta. He knows
Yeah.
what your character is like.
Yeah, now he knows.
I was, courteous enough to make the first word, bring him with me, usher him in, get the interview going, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that was a pretty good. And he turns out he's pretty helpful to you guys.
Yeah, he is pretty helpful. The only
Uh,
thing that out of character Tanya has never said is that she's a void eater. That's the one thing that was she doesn't start talking about that because she doesn't even know the history on that too.
Now, my other out of character question, since Arata and I have known each other, Arata and Count Vladimir Eric's Pavlovich have known each other for so long, would Arata know about my possible membership with the Trenchcoats and the fact that I'm the Count of the Midnight Trenchcoats?
That is up to you and Arata.
Yep, that is completely up to you.
Okay.
Don't worry, Brad. I'll accept you for everything you are.
Alright, because I'd like to make it to where he already knows that I'm a man of the Trenchcoat and the Count of the Midnight Trenchcoats, so that way I can help enlist him on into that bounty that I was given.
God damn it, Center. I just saw that picture. Happy ending at a gun. All right, you guys did awesome. I want to know what you thought.
I
Oh,
had fun.
yep,
Yeah, this was a lot more fun.
Yep, you guys go on.
Still waiting for the day that we can go back to Gabriel and everyone can revel in my wealth.
Gabriel? I guess so.
Well, you got to finish. You got to finish building your empire out first, and then when you go back, you can do that.
Exactly.
Oh, of course.
Build Tanya her forge, then she is like, yeah, she'll go wherever the fuck you want.
So then,
Wait,
I
Tanya has
guess.
to actually hire people to do the work when she's not at forge.
Of course.
Fuck.
That I give him your constructive criticism.
Well, A, they can't use Black Betty unless they have a strength of 9.
And on that bombshell,